Personality. He was the Indian jurist, political leader, philosopher, thinker, anthropologist, historian, orator, writer, economist, profounder of human rights, eminent scholar, editor, and revolutionist. Actually, has written 32 books. Out of these 32 books, 10 books are yet to finish and publish. I think it is a challenge before all the followers of Dr. Ambedkar. We can finish that incomplete works of Dr. Ambedkar. Yesterday, Kalimat sir invited me to have a speech at this occasion. There was a question before me how to begin my speech. For a longer time, I was thinking on what is to be spoken here and what aspect of the personality of Dr. Ambedkar I have to talk on. So finally, I came to a conclusion that I will go to have a talk on the social philosophy of Dr. Ambedkar. Friends, when we utter the word philosophy, the first name in the history of the globe that comes is of India. India has all the ancient philosophies. It is the Stockholm of philosophy. Apart from a lot of or a bulk of Hindu philosophy, what is the role played by the social philosophy by Dr. Ambedkar? The most important thing that when we talk of the Indian philosophy, we talk of the Hindu philosophy. The 95% of the Indian philosophy deals with the religion of Hinduism. So as I have already said that there is no need to deal with the biography of Dr. Ambedkar. He was the first Indian who had an onslaught on the ancient Hindu philosophy. So the very basic question which arises in the mind of the Indians is that what is the reason why he was against the Hindu philosophy? Before dealing with the social philosophy by Dr. Ambedkar, it is very necessary to tell about the ancient Hindu philosophy and the reason why Dr. Ambedkar discarded the Hindu philosophy. The Hindu philosophy consists of mainly Vedas, Upanishads, Shastras, and number of things are there in the Hindu philosophy, and it is very difficult to understand even for the Indians who are very much proud of their own philosophy. The basic reason why Dr. Ambedkar discarded the ancient or age-long Hindu philosophy is that the Hindu philosophy mainly deals with the life after death. The very first reason why Dr. Ambedkar noticed in the Hindu philosophy is that it deals with the life after death. It deals with the subject like that of the existence of God, the relationship between the human soul and the God as the eternal soul, the existence of heaven and hell, the theory of karma. So nearly all the things with which the ancient Hindu philosophy has dealt are the metaphysical problems of life. So the basic reason is that Dr. Ambedkar disagreed with all these metaphysical points, metaphysical problems and metaphysical existence of the human being. Dr. Ambedkar rightly said that every man should have his own philosophy of life. Dr. Ambedkar has defined philosophy in his own ways. For Dr. Ambedkar, the Vedas is not the philosophy. For Dr. Ambedkar, the Shastras or the Puranas is not the philosophy of life. Dr. Ambedkar has defined philosophy as a standard. It is a standard by which to measure the human conduct, the human behavior. The philosophy of Dr. Ambedkar does not speak of the life after death, but it deals with the human life. As I've said earlier that the most important thing why Dr. Ambedkar discarded the Hindu philosophy, the reason is that it deals with the life after death. It does not going to deal with the human life. So, Dr. Ambedkar himself, when he came forward with his own social philosophy, as the anchor ma'am said that, my philosophy has also the roots in religion. Generally, it is believed that the principles of Ambedkarian philosophy were taken from the French Revolution. But Dr. Ambedkar himself has rightly said that the roots of my philosophy lies in the teachings of my master Buddha. So whatever principles are there in the philosophy of Dr. Ambedkar, the source is the philosophy of Lord Buddha. It is not taken from anywhere else. And one more important thing regarding Dr. Ambedkar's philosophy is that it does not deal with the politics. The philosophy of Dr. Ambedkar does not deal with the politics, but it deals with the human life, not the life after death. It deals with the human life. It deals with the humanity. And the principles which are dealing with the humanity, Dr. Ambedkar neglected all those principles which were there in the ancient Hindu philosophy, but he came forward with the new principles of his philosophy, whose source lies in the teachings of Lord Buddha: liberty, equality, and fraternity. For him, the search for God. So generally, even in case of the learned man like us, most of the time, right from the morning till night, if we go on analyzing our activities, a Hindu, especially a Hindu, what he does, most of the time he is going to best into prepare for life after death. We are more concerned with the concept of path, we are more concerned with the concept of punya. But according to Dr. Ambedkar, this type of dealings with life are inhuman. These are not going to have any welfare of humanity. Dr. Ambedkar, for him, the most important thing was that love of a man by man. If you go on analyzing the Shastras, the Upanishads, the Vedas, nowhere you find this concept of love between two human beings. What you find? The relationship between man and the God. The relationship between the human soul and the eternal soul. The God has been considered as an eternal soul in the Hindu philosophy. So, what the Adhyatma does teach us, what actually the Adhyatma with which we are going throughout the life, it deals with the relationship between man and God. Adhyatma never deals with the relationship between a man and a man. So this is the basic reason why Dr. Ambedkar was against the ancient Hindu philosophy. It was not going to work for the welfare of man. If we are going to prepare for the life after death, then what is the use of all these practices? Definitely we will get the benefit. But when we are going to get the benefit, we are going to get the benefit of what we have practiced throughout life is after our death. And no science has proved the human existence after death. Science has not proved the life after death. It may be the rebirth or whatever it may be. Number of things are there in the Hindu philosophy. And the second important thing what I would like to put before you is the democracy. We know the greatest contribution of Dr. Ambedkar. He was the chairman of the drafting committee of Indian Constitution. It was his greatest contribution to India. So once a journalist asked Dr. Ambedkar a question, is there democracy in India or not? Unfortunately, Dr. Ambedkar has given a negative answer. There is no democracy in India. A man who has written all these things under the name of Indian Constitution, he has to give the negative answer of a question asked by the journalist regarding democracy. Unfortunately, friends, Dr. Ambedkar has given the negative answer. For Ambedkar, the democracy is not a political system. It was not a way of governing a nation. For Ambedkar, democracy is associated living. For Ambedkar, democracy is associated living. What we find in the Indian democracy, even today, we have voted in the parliamentary election, later on we have voted in the state assembly elections. What was the practice? Even in case of the voters like us, we go for the person to vote who belongs to my caste. We go to vote a person who belongs to my subcaste. We go to vote for a person who belongs to my religion. So it was not the democracy what was expected by Dr. Ambedkar. He was always against the division of man on the basis of religion, division of man on the basis of caste, division of man on the basis of subcaste. The sole purpose of his life was to unite the people, unite the human beings living on this bare earth, especially in India. When we think of the Indian society, even today, after 70 years of independence, after a lot of progress, what we find in the Indian society? Indian society does not consist of mere human beings. What is the definition of the word society? But Indian society does not consist of the human being, but it consists of innumerable castes. We talk of the India 2020, we talk of the vision of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, right from this rule of Bharatiya Janata Party from the last 10 years. So what we talk that about the progress of India, about the vision of India, but according to Dr. Ambedkar, a country cannot be built on the basis of foundations like that of a caste. If we go on creating something, if we go on to build something on the basis of this, on the foundation of this caste, what will happen? It will not work for a longer time. Definitely, it will crack. So whatever we are talking today under the name of progress, whatever we are talking today under the name of technological advancement, so all these things are vain according to Dr. Ambedkar. The true democracy exists only in a country where the human being is not divided on the basis of caste, on the basis of religion, on the basis of his subcaste. India, we are very much proud of the thing that India is the largest democracy in the world. Actually, it is something to speak among the foreigners. What I personally feel is that as per the social structure of this country is concerned, India is not prepared to accept democracy as a political system here. Before accepting democracy as a political system, what we have to do? We have to work on. There are so many barriers in this country. Again, we feel very proud to say that unity in diversity. I do not know where do we find the unity in this country. So these are some of the basic concerns. What Dr. Ambedkar talked on are all these basic concerns on which, first of all, we Indians have to work. Later on, we have to go on talking of the greatest democracy. Later on, we have to go on talking of so many things of development, advancement, and all these things. The greatest contribution of Dr. Ambedkar was in the annihilation of caste. Whatever experiences of life are there, actually Dr. Ambedkar has provided a large source of literary creation in India. Almost in every language, we find the Dalit writings, moreover we find the Dalit autobiographies. The source behind all these literary creation is the philosophy of Dr. Ambedkar. Though the things are going on in India, though it is happening, but the true solution given by Dr. Ambedkar on the annihilation of caste has been neglected by the people in India. When the few people or the journalists, when they came to Dr. Ambedkar and asked him a question on the annihilation of caste, Dr. Ambedkar came forward with some of the solutions. The first solution given by Dr. Ambedkar on the annihilation of caste was arranging inter-caste dinners. Actually, even today, it achieves success at some extent that we do not feel anything. In case of the inter-caste dinners, we accept it. The second solution given by Dr. Ambedkar was the abolition of subcaste. If we want to annihilate the caste, first of all we have to go for the abolition of the subcaste. Dr. Ambedkar himself practiced this for some time in his own lifespan. When he noticed that when he was trying to abolish the subcaste, the outcome of this practice was totally opposite what was expected by Dr. Ambedkar. When he was trying to abolish the subcaste, what happened? Under the name of abolishing the subcaste, the main caste become more stronger. So Dr. Ambedkar considered that it is not good to practice this solution for the purpose of abolishing caste in India. Even he noticed that the inter-caste dinners, the dinners were taking place, no doubt the dinners were taking place, but the consciousness among the men of people, among the herds of people, it was still there. What we have to do, the basic thing is that we have to remove out that consciousness, the caste consciousness among the herds of the thousands, crores, millions, billions of Indians. But the inter-caste dinners, they proved helpless for the purpose of abolition of caste. Then he came forward with the third solution, that was of the inter-caste marriages. Dr. Ambedkar thought that if the inter-caste marriages are there, so it will result in the blood relation between two different castes. It will create the relation of kith and kin. It was there in the mind of Dr. Ambedkar. But as we are all learned people, we know what is the percentage of inter-caste marriages today. What is the rate of success of the inter-caste marriages today? Among the people like us, even we can ask a question to ourselves. If I have to marry my son, I have to marry my daughter, will I go for the inter-caste marriage of my son? Will I go for inter-caste marriage of my daughter? Definitely the answer is not. We celebrate Mahaparinirvan Din, we celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti, we celebrate the day on which the constitution came into existence, came into implementation. We celebrate number of things. We put a garland to the photograph of Dr. Ambedkar. So what I personally feel is that doing such things, all these are the superficial things. If all of you are the true followers of Dr. Ambedkar, what do I have to do? I have to think for the ultimate solution given by Dr. Ambedkar on abolition of caste. What was that ultimate solution? Just now I have told you that ultimate solution on abolition of caste in India is the inter-caste marriages. So how many of us will be ready for the inter-caste marriages of our own sons and daughters? Definitely we are not going to do that. So in the true sense, what is happening in the Indian society, what is happening not only in case of Ambedkar. We have a rich history. We have a lot of great people in the Indian history. Throughout the year, we go on celebrating. Now, Rathod sir is preparing AQAR. If you go through the list, there are more than 20 to 25 events celebrating so-and-so birth anniversary, so-and-so death anniversary. What we do, we simply assemble here. We put a garland. We have a photograph and we report to IGSC. So, this business, what is going on as a superficial business is not enough. Someone has to come forward. It is the responsibility of all of us. We say that I'm a learned man, I'm a professor, I'm a graduate, I'm a postgraduate, I have a doctorate. Then it is the responsibility of, especially of all those learned people, those who are the followers of Dr. Ambedkar, who want to propagate the philosophy of Dr. Ambedkar, who want to abolish the casteism, have to go for the inter-caste marriages. That is the ultimate solution given by Dr. Ambedkar. So friend, once again, I pay homage from the depth of my heart to the great revolutionary, Dr. Ambedkar, and I will finish. Thank you.